As children, we dream, what if? We dream of doing something even if we'd never seen it done before. So how do we keep that adventurous spirit alive? For nearly 70 years, our company has been built by men and women who came to work every day and wondered, what if I do something nobody's ever done before? And people who stood alongside them and answered, let's find out. They questioned, pushed, and prodded. They never shied from a challenge, no matter how daunting. And they never overlooked an opportunity, no matter how small. Today, we are a global corporation, but we can still dream, still imagine, still ask, what if? To continue to grow, we must remain the overachieving youngster we've always been. But it's not a job for a few isolated dreamers. It's up to all of us. From every factory floor to every administrator's desk, from finance to marketing, from engineering to operations. Growth, it's everybody's business. Already, this exciting new spirit is yielding results through the amazing efforts of our Horizon One teams. People came together from across this company, across divisions, across specialties, from diverse backgrounds with different skills. We brought them together in teams and gave each one 100 days to create something, to break the mold, to test an idea, to refine a process, to dream. We gave them the support and the ability to get it done, and then we got out of their way. Here's what happened in the first 100 days.
A way to describe the project was basically trying to suck a ping pong ball up a straw.
Well, we had a lot of skepticism.
They were skeptical.
No way. When they gave us Horizon One, I'm like, you want us to do what?
You want me to do what? I was like, I'm not a team leader.
That's my initial reactions. Fear, yeah.
32 product specifications, 3 of which required a brand new adhesive into Fason. It seemed pretty daunting.
It's not so much rush as much as just don't let that project sit. Pick it up, do your part on it, and then pass it on to the next person.
Every meeting was important, every conversation was important, and no one was shy about pulling members in and little impromptu discussions.
The rate of learning new things in this, I think, probably more than any other project I had in the short time I've been at Avery, was probably the fastest and probably the most enjoyable part of the whole thing.
And typically you go through a process, is this okay, is that not okay? In this case it was just, we decided that was it.
We made the decisions. We basically had carte blanche to do whatever we wanted, and that was a good feeling. That helped with the morale. That helped with the motivation.
We had a mid-project review where we got to sit down and hear the other teams. I got the impression, as I watched the different presentations, that the more challenging the goal or the more challenging the problem, the better the team did with it, you know.
If you look at the things that possibly would be failures, it's not like you just failed and went home for the day. You learned something from that process, so you could take it into either the next project or maybe in the next product.
The only failure I think that we probably could have come up against was just not taking action at the get-go. That would have been the worst thing to do.
It gives someone a chance to step up and say, you know what, I had an idea for how to do it. For once, I'm not just going to follow the process for how I know I should do it. I'm going to step out of the box and I'm going to come up with my own creative ways to get to the end goal, even if it's not in the straight line.
If you pick the people that have a high level of enthusiasm, and that can be in any function or at any level, that they can be valuable members of this process and this team, and that we can really use those resources in ways that we never would have thought to use them before.
Working with folks that you don't normally work with, the beauty in that is that there are things that they thought of that we would never really have thought of.
And for people to think that far outside the box, it was I sat back and said, wow.
Sales couldn't do this on its own. Marketing couldn't. Logistics couldn't. Manufacturing.
we really need to pull it all in and have them working together.
It wasn't that you're from marketing or you're from engineering or you're from distribution. It was like we are here for one purpose, and that is to launch a new product.
And that was one really neat thing to see the team come together. People did jobs that weren't traditionally theirs. They helped each other, supported each other, and whenever something needed to get done, you always knew there was someone next in line on the team that was going to help you get it done.
And I had very little interaction with Renee up to that point, and I was proud to be calling on those customers with him because they respected him so well.
And we did a lot of cheerleading. We could see if one individual had a lot going on that day. You could sense that, so you kind of went over and said, hey, what can I do to help you out?
Salespeople can be pretty protective of the relationships they have with their customers and maybe not want to bring a bigger group into the mix. And this group has given me that confidence that all of Avery has value to bring if I took 8 to 10 people to a customer or if it's just myself speaking for the group. But when you have that behind you, it gives me a little bit more confidence to go forward and just lay it out in line for the customer and say, hey, you got a tough problem here. I know I can solve it for you. Allow us to go to work.
The results were truly spectacular. They exceeded my expectations by a long shot.
Don had this project by himself. What he did would probably taken him a year and a half to do, and now we have a process that took us 100 days.
You know, generally in medical, it's a project at a time. We're doing 4 at once, so I'm awfully proud of that.
We started showing them what we could do with like just sugar water, and they were like excited. They run into their lab and they start pricking their fingers with their own blood, testing our materials. And you don't get that every day with with customers.
They said, well, 100 days, you can never, I mean, getting sale, that was the initial reaction. We're talking 12 to 15 months is sort of the usual timeline. We are not even at the midterm point. They have already closed their first order with one of those accounts.
We took a product that is not runnable on our existing asset that we were targeted to put on that machine, and we were able to make it work.
7 new customers, nearly $200,000 in sales. That's all new. That's all. We never had it before.
We have a new product, completely new process, new materials, new way of making it.
In total dollars, we'll probably see an additional $1 to $1.5 million in sales this year.
Actually, $325,000 in new sales. We doubled or nearly doubled our goal.
For me, it was I was almost looking for a bottle of champagne to spray everywhere. It was so exhilarating.
These are just a few of the men and women of Avery Dennison who took 100 days and reminded us what creativity, dedication, and teamwork can accomplish. Now it's our turn to capture the innovative flame, to dream of ideas unseen, to answer the question, what if? Growth. It's everybody's business.